Well, let's verify.
Okay, we should be live.
Oh, and now I can't hear you.
Give it a second.
Oh, there it is.
Yep.
Okay.
I was the last on the list to unmute.
Well, I'm meaning on in Discord. I couldn't hear you for half a second there. But,
oh, that was weird.
My stream hasn't caught up yet, so.
And I get a check 1, 2, 3, starting with 0.
Check 1, 2, 3.
Check.
There it is.
Check.
Check.
There's significant lag between Discord and the stream.
We'll wait a second just to make sure. And then
Yep.
A little bit of lag happens, especially when he's running remote.
All right, that's everybody. We're good.
Cool. Yeah, guys.
We have sound for everybody.
Sound for Black Label.
Maybe the first time?
It's not the first. We have the first episode, and we have
one of the others, maybe?
The fourth
last episode.
Because I think this is episode 5, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I wasn't in one.
I think the first 2 episodes audio was okay.
Yeah, we have.
I think it was only the third one that it was really bad.
That was the one that Chuck said all the hilarious stuff to the ogres, isn't it?
No, that was episode 4.
Oh, okay, good. Well, okay, fine.
No, we have in pristine recorded condition Morian getting his ass kicked in by the ogres.
Oh, good, because that's like the most important character building moment for Morian.
All right. Does anyone want to do a recap to get us up to speed?
Did I write anything down? Okay, I think I wrote it down.
Cool.
All right. So, previously in episode 4, we were harried by a foul stench, and the Knuckle V comes out of the forest. We run across the river, and it can't cross. And we get to the city, and there are ogres guarding it. And Morian decides he will insult them, and gets his bum handed to him quite quickly. So after we stabilize him, we walk into the town, and there's really no food because no one has to make their own food, because every evening they go up to the castle and there's a grand feast, and the castle looks like the Disneyland castle. It's all big, but it's all small. It's really weird. And there is, in the center of the hall, there was like this guy. He looks kind of vampire-y, and he was like, welcome children, blah, 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 blah. There's a big clock in the middle. We step across it, and it calls our names. And then this guy tries to book it. His name is Varric, and he managed to walk through these doors that we killed people with because we didn't know what they did. And we killed Varric, and then we walked through this room that seemed to be frozen in time, and we got in yet another fight. I think.
We undid the sword thing, and then somebody came in and was like,
yeah. You removed the sword from the body, and then the body attacked you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then you turned around, and there was a person standing there, and I don't remember what I described this person as.
She
is a female dragonborn, right?
Yeah, I think you said she's a very powerful necromancer, but we don't, or warlock, but we don't know that. Yeah, I don't think.
Yeah, I have my notes here, but I did not put. Let me just put in there, female dragonborn, so I don't forget that. All my notes are on my phone because I make them when I'm bored at work. Which has not been as often lately. Hasn't been as much time. Okay, so yes, you guys have turned around, and this dragonborn is standing there, and said, Well, it's about time you showed up, and that's where we're at. What are you guys gonna do? Remember, you've just come out of 2 fights in a row.
I'm not another person to deal with. What do you want?
What do I want? What do you want?
We're trying to get out of here.
Out of
How did you get into this room? There are those barriers. Are you also able to pass through them?
I just go around.
We could have gone around.
Well, I mean, not everyone can.
Anyways, we're trying to get off this, wherever we are.
This God's forsaken
Yes,
place.
yes, trying to leave. Yeah, I knew that would have had been what will have had happened. Come with me. Turns around.
What
and
the
starts
what?
walking
What
away.
again? What the will have? What happened? I'm tired. I'm confused.
She's
What?
walking away.
All right, fine. I follow her.
Okay.
All right.
Morian, get up.
I don't want to.
You know how many things I have done in my life that I didn't want to do? I said get up.
Fine. Gonna follow.
Okay. She leads you just back through that connecting room and into that sort of chamber where you fought Varric at. You guys actually didn't kill Varric. You just left him in that room.
Oh, that's right. I thought we killed him. I
But
knew
as
we fought him.
you re-enter the room, he is nowhere to be seen. There is a nice little neat pile of ash in the middle of the room.
In the middle of the room?
Roughly the middle of the room, yeah.
Oh.
And as you may recall, there was a staircase in this room that went up to a set of double doors. The double doors at the top of that staircase are now open, and there is a sort of like blue whirling vortex within them, within the frame of the door.
Is that the direction that the dragon's
The dragon
is going?
is ascending the stairs.
Well, then I'm going up the stairs too.
Okay.
I'm going to spit on the pile of ash and follow up.
Wait, is there like a stake or anything in the pile, sitting in the pile of ash?
There is not.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay. So you all follow up the stairs?
Why not?
Okay. She steps through the portal, no hesitation, and vanishes from sight. Are you all going to follow?
I've already
You know,
done
at
once. Why not try again?
Yeah. At this point, we walked through a bunch of doors. She told us to follow, so I might as well.
Who has the
I'm
pendant?
gone.
The pocket watch?
Yeah.
It was either you or Darius.
You ran back to get it.
No,
Yeah,
I left
so
it.
you
I
have
left it
it.
on the other side of the portal. So
No,
that he
but one
could
of you
look at it.
one of you picked it back up to investigate.
I left it on the other side of the portal, and then you went back and picked it up.
Okay.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah,
I
I think
wanted to be
that
really
sounds right.
cruel, and then
But then
You
Morian was
needed
like,
it.
that might be important.
and then you read it, I believe, like whatever was engraved on it.
Yep. It had a map inscribed on the back of it.
Yeah, I guess I go through the
So,
portal too.
all right, then I go through.
All right. You all step through the portal. You feel like you've been immersed in water.
Thanks, I hate it.
It's cold, but it doesn't have like that like when you jump in a pool like in the summer, like it's a hot day and then you jump in the pool. There's like that shock of the cold, but then it's not consistently still chilled around you. It just has that like initial shock of hitting the water in the cold, and then another feeling of like coming pulled out of the water, and you are now standing in a small little study. It's kind of it's small, cozy. There's bookcases all over the place. A couple of little tables with just like notes and books and things all over them. What looks to be a couple of like rolling drawer card catalog type things. Like old school library card catalog. And then there is a window in one on one wall, a big window, but it's got shutters over it right now. And then there's a door next to that window. And the Dragonborn is sitting down at one of these tables and scribbling on in like a book.
If I may ask, where are we?
We're in the vault.
The vault.
Oh, of course you. I'm sorry.
I'm
you don't.
aware of it.
You wouldn't know yet. I get all my timelines confused. Yes, this is the vault. This is the repository of knowledge and items.
Did you say all timelines?
Sometimes, maybe some of the time what's straight is a circle.
You're not making much sense.
Time doesn't make sense.
It just passes. Time passes. That's
yes, until it doesn't. You see? Because sometimes what has been is and won't but will, and you haven't but you did.
God, you said items.
Oh, yes, it's we catalog and store things of interest. Have been for millennia at this point, I'm sure.
All right, I'm gonna go rifle through the catalog to see if there's anything useful here.
Cool. Do you speak Archaic? Speak and read Archaic?
Of course not.
Okay, then you open it up and there's a bunch of cards with scribbles on them. Also, have you guys seen Bedazzled? Brendan Fraser movie?
Long time
ago.
Remember when he opens up the cabinet and it just like keeps opening forever? Oh, wait, no.
Bruce Almighty?
Yeah, Bruce Almighty, that happens.
Oh,
there's just the giant one in Bedazzled. There's just the giant form. No, yeah, I'm thinking Bruce Almighty when he opens up the cabinet and it just keeps opening and opening. Yeah, there's kind of that kind of thing going on when you start going through the card catalog.
I say whatever this world's equivalent of. Oh, Jesus Christ, what is this?
I'm gonna walk over and start reading it.
You speak Archaic? You can read it?
I can read everything.
Yeah. It's a whole bunch of different just catalogs of different literally any magic item you can think of is listed amongst these. As well as lots of ones you haven't heard of, and lots of seemingly mundane items. Some of them have descriptions. A lot of them just have a name of an item and like a location, and that's it. Most of them, that's what it is. Where there's a handful you recognize, and some of them was like, wand of, magic missile or something like that, and things like that.
Talos, is there something you were looking for specifically, or you're just wanting to look at it?
I'm tired of these crappy weapons, and I want something. See if they have anything better. Same for armor.
I
don't know. I have no idea what we're going to be fighting next, but I don't want to be ill-prepared.
Well, if you're looking for items, we have a very strict just look, don't touch policy. But for the three of you, we might be able to make a small exception. Yeah, come with me. And she opens up that one door in the far wall.
I see books everywhere. Is this not a library? Can't we borrow things?
You would think that, wouldn't you? But no.
I would think that. That's why I said it.
She opens up the door and steps out. Do you follow her out the door?
Oh yeah.
Sure, I mean,
Can't get
what
much
else do
more
I have to do?
insane than this, so why not?
You okay?
But
Go ahead.
Dragonborn lady.
Mm-hmm.
Before we go any further, do you have like a potion of healing or something?
Oh, maybe.
Your house
She
guest was very
reaches.
rude. And
She has a satchel. Oh, he's not my guest. She reaches into her satchel and then like does one of like the Mary Poppins thing of like digging really down all the way down to her shoulder and then comes back up. Here you go. It's a potion of superior healing.
Whoa.
I shall
You
drink it.
can. All right. You don't need to roll. That one's going to fill your hit points.
Yep.
Wow.
Let it be noted, I gave him the option of not immediately refilling his hit points and instead having a potion of superior healing on hand, and he chose not to.
Let it be noted.
That
Play my
sounds.
character well.
Yes, I know that is what Morian would do, and I love
Say
it.
that is a pretty Morian thing to
It's
do.
100%.
I'm gonna die. I need to come up with a new character.
Say,
This world.
at least I played someone who's battle hardened and cynical.
Played a Karen on a battle.
Morian is a Karen. Oh my
Karen with
god.
access to like ridiculous levels of magic.
Oh gosh. Could you imagine an actual Karen with like access to magical spells?
That'd be very bad.
I want to see your manager. Snaps fingers. Manager's just like right there. I suggest.
Bigby's hand just rips the door off the office and pulls the manager.
Whoa, boy.
Okay. So she steps out of the door. Do you follow her out?
Yeah.
Okay.
What else do we have to do?
You are standing on a balcony overlooking. You guys know the warehouse at the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark?
Yep.
Oh yeah, top men.
Yeah. If you've ever seen Warehouse 13, that's what this is based on.
Nice.
It's just an unending warehouse of it just goes off and in the distance, just shelves with items and boxes. You can see a pyramid off in the distance.
A whole pyramid.
A whole pyramid. There's just crazy amounts of stuff. As a side note, to anyone that has never seen Warehouse 13, very good show that was on the Sci-Fi Network. Would highly recommend. This character that you're talking to is a subclass I created to reference that show. So,
Pact of the Hoarder.
No, it's the Arcane Vault patron. So this vault that you're in is the patron for this subclass.
Really?
Yeah. So
lady.
Hmm.
Back in the food place, we stepped on a circular thing, and it called our names. What's up with that?
Oh, yes, the sigil is magically inscribed to detect the presence of certain life force and energy signatures, and then respond accordingly to help make sure their predestinies happen as determined.
What now?
Well, for that to happen, you have to have done other things. So it has to make sure that happens, so that this happens.
I'm just gonna stop asking questions.
This happened. So
I was kind of following everything
that
up
then
until the part where we walked through the crazy portal and.
Yeah. So
let's just get items. Yeah.
Yes. Let's. Yes. She leads you down a little spiral staircase off the balcony that gets to the floor of the warehouse, and there is a little like wagon, and sits you all in it. And once you're all seated, it just kind of starts taking off and trundling through the aisles.
Oh,
He's how big is this wagon? I can't believe I fit in it.
Oh, it's big enough for all of you to sit in the back.
I was picturing like a little radio flyer.
Oh no!
you mean more like
Talos in a little wagon being pulled by the dragon.
Yeah, exactly. Like she's pulling it with her behind her. Like
No, I was
hand on the handle.
thinking like you know like a covered wagon, but without a covering on it or whatever.
Oh, like a Conestoga wagon.
Yeah, there you go.
Oregon Trail.
Oh my god.
Oregon Trail. But
like
not
a
being
radio
pulled by
flyer
anything, it's just
wagon.
kind of moving under its own power. And she's like, "This is so exciting! I haven't had anyone in here in such a long time. So if any of you gets an inkling that you'll feel, because I'm going to give each of you one thing, but I know there's something in here that's going to be just right for you. So when you feel something tugging at you, you just let me know, and we'll stop the wagon, and we'll find it. Okay?
I want something that will destroy all humans.
Sure. Okay.
You're freaking Johnny Depp.
I mean,
kids.
there's that craziness that she's trapped alone to run this warehouse for all eternity. You're gonna go crazy.
Jeez.
Everyone make an insight check, please.
Oh, I'm not good at this on this character.
Nat 20.
Yeah.
At least I'm not as bad as
This literally
Morian.
was just to see whoever got the highest is the person that feels something first. It's not. There's no like DC to beat. So Darius, literally, like she's just finished saying this. Like if you feel a tug, and all of a sudden, just like you just get this sense of like, I need to grab something right now.
Darius gets ripped out of the wagon.
Almost like you feel like a pull to your left.
Something that way.
Oh, and she stops the wagon, and you step out, and you like, I'm not even gonna, you got a nat 20. It's just like, you just walk, you take a couple of steps, you turn down another aisle, and there's millions of items, right? But for everything kind of like has like faded a little bit in your vision to like a sort of like sepia tone. Except there's one, you see a little bit of glowing behind something else. And you step over and you kind of like push this little like dusty vase aside. And there's this little box. Probably no bigger than like 12 inches by 8 inches, roughly this size of a sheet of paper, but obviously deeper because it's a little box. And it is, there's not a speck of dust on it. Beautiful, like, oiled mahogany, gold trimming and inlays, and a small little latch on the front. And it is just calling your name.
I will undo the latch and open.
Okay. Let me find my thing here. You open the box. Inside is a small a set of the top lid has some pockets and stuff, which what looks to be like alchemical gear, like a crafting kit to make stuff.
Mm-hmm.
In the bottom of the box, set in like a velvet inlay thing that's sized for it, there is a large, somewhat large syringer injector type gun, and then 20 little vials. Roll 1d12 for me.
7.
Okay. 10 of the vials are full of a blood red liquid.
Interesting.
That is all you can see in it for now. You'll have to attune to it. It is magical. You can clearly sense it is magical. You have to attune to it to figure out anything more. That is what you see upon initial examination.
I'll close the box, relatch, and then grab it and go back.
Okay. So you go back to the wagon, and the rest of them are waiting for you. And Dragonborn is just like, oh, so what did we find?
It seems to be some sort of device with what looks like something that could be injected, perhaps.
Oh, yes. Oh, I feel like that one was just made for you. Okay, let's carry on. And the car starts trundling off again. Talos and Morian make an insight check. Darius, you can just kind of check out this item for now. All right. You travel on for a little bit further, and suddenly, Talos, you just feel this urge of oh, I need something. I need something.
There on the right.
Stops the cart. You step off. You follow. You see an umbrella stand with umbrellas in it and staffs in it and just literally random things. And actually, you might not even know what an umbrella is. So there's weird things in this little stand. And just sitting in it amongst all of this other stuff is a spear. And you're liking the look of that spear.
Well, hello there. I grabbed the spear.
Okay. It is very clearly designed as a spear, but you notice that rather than a wood haft with a metal spear point, the entire thing is one solid piece of metal, and yet is as light as a feather. But that is as much as you can tell about it until you attune to such an item. They're not going to require attunement slots. I'm telling you that right now. These won't require, this one at least. Actually, let me double check. You know what? No, for the sake of it, these are good things. They're going to take an attunement slot. So yeah, you'll learn more about them when you take the time to attune to them.
Oh, so is it kind of like Sky's spear from Hero?
Sure. Don't know that reference.
Hero is the Jet Li movie. Never mind.
I haven't seen it.
And Sky, okay.
Is there an image of it?
Just Hero versus Guy.
It's probably a bit plainer than that, but yeah.
Okay.
Similar, just a little bit less of the fanciful artistry.
There's no tassel or anything.
Yeah, no tassel, and very minimal on any sort of artistic designs to it.
Sounds like my kind of spear.
Okay.
Spear me the details.
All right. You get back in the cart with this spear, and she sees it, and she's like, "Ooh, spear, a mighty fine choice." All right. Cart starts trundling along. Morian, you don't need to roll now because you're the last one. You're going. It's taking a long time. You're not feeling anything. You're starting to get a little annoyed and maybe a little bit self-conscious. And then all of a sudden, just it's just like a tug. You're like, oh no, this is it.
Oh, that's what they were talking about. Okay, that direction.
Stops. Wagon stops. You step out. You walk a little ways. You come across like it's not a building, but there's like a section of the shelves that are like they're like separated from the other ones, and there's like a beaded doorway. So you like push through the beaded doorway, and it's just full. There's shelves just full of like clothes and like costumes, and maybe even a few little bits and pieces of like armor and stuff. Some on mannequins, some folded on shelves. And you find yourself pulled towards this pedestal in the center. And sitting on top of it is just the simplestly designed circlet. It's burnished bronze. Doesn't really look special at a glance, but you feel something in it just calling at you.
Oh. Put it on.
Okay. You pick it up. It is not sized for your head, but you kind of like, I guess, and you go to put it on there, and it shifts shape in your hands and fits neatly and comfortably around your head.
And Morian's got a big head.
And yeah, there you go. You will all get back in the wagon. And then she's like, "Oh, I see. Beautiful. It looks very nice on you." The wagon starts taking off. I'm gonna allow a shorter attunement time to get back to the little office area, so that I can send you guys all of the specifics on these. So give me a moment, because I'm gonna have to send them to you in Discord. So I've got curiosities first. There you go. And PsychGuy, yours is next. There you go. And Panda. I apologize in advance. Yours is very wordy, Panda.
Oh boy.
I hope Discord doesn't decide that it's too big. Oh, it's too big. Okay.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Gosh, Darius is too big. It's better than me in every way. God.
Let's delete that. There we go. All right. I'll send you that, and then let me copy the last section of it here. I'll send it to you as a separate one. You don't necessarily have to read the whole things right now, but if you want to take some time to do that, I completely understand. These, and you can feel, I'm giving them to you privately so that you don't have to tell anyone what it is, but if you want to share them with each other, these were all custom made for you guys. So some of them have very intricate, weird things to them. Some of them are pretty straightforward little boosts that they give, but they're designed specifically for your characters. So I've been waiting to give these to you for months. So feel free to take as much time as you want to look at those as the wagon is trundling back towards.
Mine seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I think Panda's is the most complex, but it's because I feel like he likes some of that kind of tricky stuff, as well as it's fitting for his character to have something that you can really do a lot of. There's not just like one way that it works. So you did all get those messages, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure they're transmitted properly.
I just gotta figure out what maneuver I want.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you don't have to pick it right away. You can always wait. But...
Ooh, wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna look at them again. Because what I've given you is definitely going to change the balance of... It might seem, Chuck, like yours doesn't do a lot.
Oh, no, it doesn't. No, it does a
lot.
lot.
Okay.
It does a lot. Morian is grinning from ear to ear right now.
As far as game balance goes, that is a broken item.
I'm kind of curious now.
Like I said, if you guys want to, you can always. You guys are all capable of playing your characters without, spilling anything. So you can tell each other what they are if you want to, but you don't have to.
I got a really good spear.
I'm still reading.
Yeah, Panda's going to take him a bit to read through it, but I'm hoping he likes it.
I got +1 AC and an extra spell slot.
A whole extra spell slot?
Whole extra spell slot. That's why I said it's an unbalancing item.
Dude, there's so much you can do with an extra spell slot.
Oh, yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Of what level? Or, like, any level?
Base level.
Yeah.
It's whatever it's level... I didn't specify in there, did I?
No, it's whatever I need it to be.
Yeah.
So you could end up having 2 9th level spells in a day.
Yep.
I cast Wish twice. I wish I had the Luck Blade.
I wish this.
Oh, I wish that didn't happen.
Oh, wait, no, that wasn't good. I wish that didn't happen. I wish I didn't make that wish. Hey, because I undid the wish, and I got the wish spell back. So I'm going to wish a different wish.
Oh, jeez. No.
I wouldn't have it work that way, but that would be hilarious. It creates this ridiculous feedback.
And because I wished that I didn't do that wish, I didn't have to make this wish. So I have both of them back.
So nothing happened? Nothing happened!
Hey! Congratulations, it took so long for Zeweave to make your wishes come true that 10,000 years have passed. You are all dead.
Need that for tonight. I gotta remember that I fly out tomorrow.
Oh, I know exactly which one. I know exactly which maneuver I'm taking.
Oh, yeah?
Commander's Strike.
Is that the one that lets you have someone else attack?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
You can basically be like, hey, Darius, you've got the magic.
Hey, Darius.
Hit that for me.
You know how you hit him really hard? Well, do it again.
There's some interesting stuff in this.
Yeah, I hope I don't regret giving it to you because there's a random table, but some of that stuff could totally break things.
Is this like a
there's
wild...
also the chance that one of them is just completely doesn't like actually add anything because my dex is already 20.
True.
So,
okay, yeah, I didn't realize that. So.
Oh yeah, I did a feat instead of an ASI.
I did a feat too, but my dex is already really high.
Yeah, so there was a chance.
I got one perfect roll.
Wait, we were rolling for stats? I thought we did that.
No, what was it that got me? My reborn. Because I was a reborn, I got to choose what my +2 and my plus whatever was. So I did my
Oh, so you
+2
put them all into Dex.
my highest as Dex, and then I put my +2 on Dex, so I was a 19, and then I got my feat, which gave me
which was
+4
a half feat that gave you a +1. Yeah.
That'll do
And
it.
it's a really. I got the slasher feat, which all I do is slashing damage, and so I once per turn slow enemies to like 10 feet, and if I get a crit, I grievously wound them.
I've thought about doing that one. I thought about taking that one for Radier, but he's not as damage focused. As a damage focused character, it's a great feat.
Yeah, I was gonna take the Piercer feat, but then I saw the Spearmaster feat, and I'm like, well, that's clearly better.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The Spearmaster one kind of helps fix the whole problem of Spear not being part of the Polearm Master subclass.
But I do like that it takes like it increases your, it makes it more on damage wise on par with the longsword, but it takes a feat to do it.
Yeah, and that kind of makes sense. All right.
Continue on. I can do task.
Right, well, yeah, you all return back to the little office area up above, and she, sits down and, or she goes over to the card catalog thing, and she goes in and she pulls out the cards for the 3 items that you took, and sets them in a little tray so that she knows that they're not currently in the vault. So, are you all happy with your selections?
I believe I am.
This, I will say, you did well.
Oh, I didn't do anything.
It's a good spear.
Good. Kind of stuff I'm giving you guys at level 4.
Although
I'm gonna regret this.
Yeah, mine.
Yours is more balanced.
Mine's more balanced at level 4.
Yours is more balanced.
It'll get good.
It'll get really good.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. Well, I a long time ago I asked you guys what kind of stuff do you like, and Curiosity said I like something that like gets better as you level up, and I was like, I can do that.
Because it keeps you from having to like always be looking for new, better gear.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't make you overpowered in the beginning. I like that kind of stuff.
100%. Okay. So now you're all sitting in there, and she looks at you all, and she's like, "So, I'm sure you have a lot of questions. I don't know that I'll be able to answer all of them, but I would like to try and help you understand what's going on as best as I can without breaking the universe. So, is there anything you would like to know?"
You didn't answer my first question at all, so...
Could you repeat the question, please?
How do we get back to where we were before we got here?
Oh, yes. That, now that you have removed the key from the corpse, we'll be able to activate the basic function of the transference room, and we'll be able to get you back, or at least fairly close. So that's not going to be an issue at all. But I assume you might want to know more before we go about doing that.
What is this place?
Well, this is the vault.
No, I mean like this whole place with all the creepy crawlies on the outside.
Oh, you mean the island?
Oh, it's an island. Okay.
Yes. So technically, the vault and the island don't exist in the same space. That's why I was confused. I'm sorry.
Of course they don't.
The island is. It's hard to. it was, but now it isn't. And it exists, but it's temporally locked. So to the outside world, it doesn't exist anymore. But one time it did. And so until the lock is released, it's sort of just trapped. Does that make sense? I know. It's
frozen in time, isn't it?
Yes.
Can we get unfrozen?
Yeah, that question.
Yes. Oh, I can get you out of there. We can get you out. Yes.
I do have a question. How did I get in there? If time is frozen in there and I somehow, I'm assuming, died beforehand, how did my body end up moving from wherever I was to there?
So you were there before.
That just raises more questions.
It existed, and people would go there and lay their dead to rest, and then over time, it was used for different purposes, and then after some unfortunate circumstances, it got separated. But you had already been laying there by the time that happened.
So I've been dead long enough for an entire part of land, potentially a continent, to detach.
Well, it was never attached. It was always an island.
Okay, this is all very confusing. But I've been dead enough that this has become some sort of time prison. If I'm understanding.
Ooh, time prison. That's a good way to describe it. Yes.
Now, about how long ago did that happen?
Ooh, I don't know. The passage of time is very, very difficult for me to really. I've been here a long time, so time is meaningless. There was a period of time that you were there before then, which is now.
You don't need to do the then, but it's now, but then thing again. I think I get it now.
Okay.
You do?
No, I'm just saying that so she doesn't keep saying it.
Fair enough. I'm trying to write down all of this, by the way.
I like elbow Morian in the ribs. This freaking guy. He's so old.
Ow, my ribs.
So, we can get you back. I can help you get off the island. I don't know exactly where, and I can't even honestly know exactly when, but I can help you get off the island. But there are some caveats.
Question.
Yes.
What does caveat mean?
Oh, it's a food eaten by rich people.
What?
Okay.
That's still not right.
I wouldn't know. I don't really remember.
I only have a 10 in. I mean, I don't know what caveat means. I need at least an 11 for that.
If you leave the island, you will still be connected to it until the lock is released. So obviously, everyone's free to do whatever they want, but if you don't deactivate the lock, then the island will essentially always call you back. Does that make sense?
You say call us back. Do you mean, like, teleport us back there? Or draw us back one way or another?
Probably more the second. It's there's not going to be a specific way that it will happen.
So could we just ignore it?
I'm sure you could for a time.
And then what'll happen if we break the lock or unlock it or whatever?
Well, if you unlock the lock, it will grant you immeasurable power. I'll tell you that, like free bonus. Unlocking the lock, big boost for you guys.
All right, let's do it.
But also, it will undo the time lock. It will restore things to the way they were, but there will also be differences based on what you did to unlock the lock. Does that make sense? All of the timelines will fall into cohesion. And this will probably cause some chaos, but it'll be so much fun.
You had me at power. You don't have to try to sell me.
I really don't care about the rest of it.
Yes.
Will the rest of it hurt me in any way?
I mean, it possibly could, but it's not. It's not necessarily going to.
Cool. Let's do it. How do we do it? What do we do?
Okay. Excellent. So, let me give you a little bit more information. Okay. So this lock, this arcane lock, I can't. There's constraints. I can't tell you how and why it was created, but there are 8 locks. Okay. You have already unlocked the first. So, which admittedly is the simplest one, but it's designed to get you started. It's the first tumbler of an advanced system. There are 7 more locks, right? And they are spread across the world and across time. So they're not all always accessible at the same in the same timeline. So there will be a little bit of travel involved. But upon
Zero, are we the Legends of Tomorrow?
I have not seen Legends of Tomorrow.
Oh,
but
are we the Time Bureau or whatever they are from Loki?
No.
Okay.
No. It is far simpler than that.
Oh, okay. I'm picturing all this branching crap and like.
Yeah, no. I'll off stream. I'll maybe explain a little bit more in like just gameplay mechanical kind of form.
Okay.
So you know
Sorry
what
to
to
interrupt.
expect going forward. Lost my train of thought there.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. So each lock will grant you access to different pieces of power and different minions to command. Always fun for a burgeoning evil overlord. Yes, yes. Someone needs to sit on the throne. So you guys can start that.
Who says there needs to be a throne?
I do.
Well, I mean, you can discuss that.
I'll take it.
But there is one.
You can kill and name all the humans. I'll sit on the throne.
So
you're gonna have to repeat that, Chuck. Morian.
You can kill all the humans. You can wipe them all out. I'll sit on the throne.
I was just gonna burn the throne while I was at it.
No, don't. No burning of the throne. I call dibs.
So, I can't tell you when or where the parts of the lock are. I was not involved in their creation, but I do know what the pieces are. If you would like me to give you a brief explanation,
Sure.
it might help inform your search. So there are 7 more pieces to the lock. Like I said, the first one that you unlocked was the night lock. It's the starter one that undoes the whole thing. It unfortunately doesn't unlock more than a little bit of the magic surrounding the castle on its own, but it does activate all of that for you. So you will potentially be able to return to the castle to rest if you need to partake in some frivolity, whatever the case may be. But the other locks are tied to certain aspects of the world. There is a water lock, which is hidden in the waves of the sea. There is a sand lock, hidden deep within the desert. There is the fire lock, hidden within the fires of the earth. There is an ice lock, hidden where the land touches the sky. There is a mind lock, hidden deep within the earth and within the minds of all creatures. There is the dragon lock, which is hidden more vaguely in a place of power. And finally, there is the void lock, which is everywhere and nowhere all at once. The void lock, I will say, is probably the most difficult one. I would recommend saving it for last.
Okay.
Just because you've said that, I kind of want to do it first.
Like I said, I don't know when and where any of them are, so really it all depends on some of the choices you make on which ones you'll find.
Another question.
Yes.
Minions to control.
Mm-hmm.
The night lock. What minions do we get with the night lock?
So, the night lock doesn't give you direct control of any minions yet, but it does unlock the control of all of the creatures of undeath upon the completion of the entire lock.
Say that one more time.
So, because you activated the night lock, when you complete the entire lock, you will have power over undeath.
Okay. I want it.
Trying to get an evil campaign started, just dangle world domination in front of your player.
I'm not trying to take over the world. I'm just trying to liberate it.
The world is a mess, and
everything.
I just rule it.
I'm basically like Zahir from the Red Lotus.
That's dark.
What?
But I like it.
That's my motivation.
I totally get it. No, it makes a lot of sense. I just hate him. I think everyone does.
I didn't hate Zahir.
I guess maybe I didn't hate his character. I hated some of the stuff around it. But that's,
yeah.
So, do you have any more questions?
how do we get started? Can we go to bed?
Oh, yes. If you'd like to take a rest, we can do that before we move forward.
I'm sorry, Morian. You're going to be awake for the rest of your life.
Are you going to
Talos that kills him. See, I didn't lie. I'm kidding. Terrible.
Are you going to kill me? Because I'd rather not die. I have a lot to do. I have a to-do
It's
a to-do list now.
just going to say, you're going to have to stay awake till it kills you.
Take throne. Keep throne safe from...
To-do list. Find throne, sit in throne, profit.
Keep throne safe from Talos. That's step 4.
Yeah. So, yes. So if you'd like to take a rest, you can definitely do that now, and then we will continue on later.
Good, I want to sleep.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You guys take a long rest. We'll just fast track it. You're in a safe space, so there's no reason to. Nothing can attack you. Nothing can get into the vault without.
Just so you guys know, I have every intention of redeering that throne. Yeah, pick it up and take it with me.
Oh my gosh, that'd be hilarious.
They'd be like, "What are you doing with the throne? You can't have it. You can't sit on it. I don't want to sit on it. No one can have it."
But I want it.
Okay.
I just look at him. No.
Yeah. So,
I tap him on the nose with a rolled up newspaper.
You wake up from your long rest, and the Dragonborn is still there, kind of just going about notes and different things that she's been doing the whole time, reorganizing some stuff. Once you're all awake, she notices you and says, "Oh, you're all awake. All right, are we ready to continue?"
I am.
So?
Now.
Okay. So, we will have to return to the ritual chamber, and I'll show you what needs to be done there. But before we do, I came up with an excellent idea that might help you on your journey. I have another item I would like to offer to each of you. It will allow you to see and interact with things that you otherwise could not.
Do go on.
Is this something that you want?
I'm certainly interested myself. I don't know about the
I'm
other
not
two.
going to say no to magical items as long as they're not cursed. So, yes, please. I said please. No.
It's not cursed, is it?
It's, I wouldn't call it cursed. No.
Just because you wouldn't call it cursed.
That's a yes or no question.
It's yes or no.
Well, it has no specific curse attached to it, but some people maybe wouldn't like it from an aesthetic standpoint.
So it's ugly. Okay. Have you seen these two?
Give me.
Certainly, I do take offense to that. But aesthetic aside.
Okay. I didn't hear what you were saying there, Chuck. It was your microphone's breaking up a little bit, being not the greatest one.
My computer is chugging along trying to make this. I said I'm beautiful enough for all of us. So, give me.
Okay. So, you're all saying you want it?
Sure. What's the worst that could happen?
Cool. She snaps her fingers and you all fall unconscious.
Awesome.
Everyone roll a d4.
Uh-oh.
Ugh.
4.
Oh!
3.
Oh, cool. Reduce your maximum hit points by the number you rolled. This is permanent.
What? You said it wasn't cursed.
It's not cursed.
You know, I feel...
When you wake up an indeterminate amount of time later, you have...
time is all indeterminate here
Yes,
anyway, so...
but I'm being even more pedantic. You have a severe headache, and especially around each of your left eye. Your head is throbbing, and your vision is a little bit blurry.
Is there like a reflective surface around somewhere nearby?
There's a window. It's got
Can I
glass in it.
look at myself in the window? real
Yes,
quick?
you can. You see yourself, and you see your left eye has been replaced with a sort of mechanical arcane construct. And you look at the other two, and the same thing has happened for both of them.
I like
Well, this
that
is lovely, isn't it?
This does not
Just
take
a
an
little-
attunement slot, because that would be really mean for me to force that on you. But you all now have an arcane eye. It grants dark vision to anyone that does not already have dark vision. And it allows you to cast True Sight once per long rest. And that is all that you just inherently know about it. You do assume that it will also allow you to see other things you wouldn't normally be able to. Oh, you've all woken up. How do you feel?
Ouch.
It's a bit of a rude knockout there.
Well, you said you wanted an additional gift.
But I didn't understand that when I accepted, I would be knocked out and have my eye replaced.
Do I still have my kidneys? Did you take anything else out while we were asleep?
No, I would have no need. I will say, because this is a magical eye, you are able to sort of magically conceal it, so it'll look like your normal one if you need to.
What color is the eye?
On just on its own, think like Terminator. It's like glowing red.
Oh, that's badass. I'm not hiding. I say that out loud as Talos, as I look in the mirror or the window.
Yeah.
Morian is going to find a piece of cloth and make a eye patch.
Okay.
I'm just gonna keep like kind of blinking.
I will say, if it's covered by the eye patch, you will have to remove the eye patch to be able to use any of its stuff.
Yep.
I think you have dark vision normally, so it only really matter if you want to cast True Sight and whatnot. Okay. So,
Morian, I'm thinking to myself that it'll be more dramatic to use it if I have to remove the eye patch in a flurry of,
Yep.
What's funny though is like if we all travel with you, like Darius and I just have this eyeball, like just kind of hanging out, and then like it's more like, oh yeah, of course he has one too. But I guess Morian doesn't think along those lines.
No, he only thinks about himself. He's Morian.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Karen. Okay. Well then, let us return to the chamber. So you walk back through the portal, head back through those couple of connecting rooms, and you find yourself in the ritual chamber where you had fought the Revenant. And the one that had been kind of like locked in time. And now you look around it more closely, you notice that there is the one door that you entered in. There are a number of like little alcoves around the sides, and there's one door opposite. But it's just like a door frame with like a brick wall in it. I'm going to call it, so the architect, which is the Dragonborn, I'm going to actually call her by her title because I'm getting tired of just saying Dragonborn. The architect directs you, Darius, to insert the broken sword you had acquired into a slot in the middle of the floor, in the middle of like the arcane runic circle.
I'll put it into the slot.
Okay. As you do, beams of light kind of trace out from it, fill in all the runes, everything glows. You start hearing like a ticking sound of like a grandfather clock. The doorway opposite fills up with a greenish energy similar to the portals that the portal that you had entered into this realm through. And a sigil appears above it, showing the number 1 in Archaic. So Morian, I know, can read Archaic, and I think Darius can read Archaic, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought I gave that to you as an additional language.
Did you? Maybe I just didn't get it written down.
I was intending to because you existed in an older era, so yeah, you can speak Archaic. Or at least you can read it. You may not be super fluent in speaking it, but just because of your memory stuff. But you can definitely read it.
Got it.
Okay. So, so that is lit up with the number 1. So she says, so there are 5 different portals here. I don't know exactly how they are set up, but if you rotate the key, you'll be able to change what setting the portal is at, and those will return you to the outside world at some place and time.
Understood. So we'll be traveling a little bit. This is how we get through time.
Yes. You do a couple of like you kind of grab a sword and you try to turn it and it like clicks, and the number above the portal changes to a 2, and then you do it again and it changes to a 3, and then you click it back, it changes back to a 2. So you can change which portal it is, but you don't know which one is which yet. And the architect does not know, as she wasn't part of the creation of this time stuff. So,
Would there be notes in the vault if we researched which ones they go to?
unfortunately, no. This was all created by the First, and the First didn't like leaving notes for others to be able to mimic. So, none of them are going to take you into immediate danger. But I don't know when and where they will take you. So the choice is yours. So backing out, just to help you with your decision making, we're going to separating from the game a little bit as a DM to his players. Each one of these portals is going to connect to a different time period. The map that I showed you earlier, each one of them correlates to a different period of time. And so depending on which one you go into, will have potentially slightly different features, although the map probably looks very similar right now because I haven't added a lot to it. They are actually all subject to small, minute differences, and each one of them has different groups and different locations for you to interact with. So, yep.
Start with number 1, work our way up.
Also, I will say this. Each of these locks that I told you about, they are all based around a theme. They are not going to be catered towards whatever your current level is. So you absolutely could, original Legend of Zelda game style, walk into the lock that you are not at all prepared for and get completely creamed by something that's challenge rating 30. So...
But you said that we wouldn't be in immediate danger.
Not when going through this portal, but when you find the locks. If you go to one of the locks later on, then I'm going to be built. I have some of the lock stuff designed so far, but they're going to be built in line with a theme tied to whatever they represent.
Oh, there's all the dungeons. Okay.
Yeah, they're the dungeons. So they obviously we potentially can be smaller caves and other things you can interact with, because this kind of opens up the world for you to do whatever. But if you do follow the quest and go for these ones, they are not built based on your level. They are built based on theme. So
guys, we're going to get to level 20, and then we're going to go do it.
Good idea. I'm down with
that. The quest for ultimate...
I wish we were level 20.
Does anybody have any lucky numbers?
I've got 5 fingers.
Let's just go with the first one.
Number 1?
Yeah.
Why not?
Okay. So you reset it to number 1.
How do we get back?
Oh, the portal... Now, this is all a little bit of conjecture from what I was instructed. So I do not have first-hand knowledge of this. Just letting you know that. The portal that you exit out of should remain in that location. However, I have no first-hand knowledge to confirm that. You may have to find other ways back to the island. But, however you came to be here in the first place, the island is locked in time. So it will return you to the same island. So you could always find one of those passages.
What I'm hearing...
Will...
Talos, hear me out on this. We find ourselves traveling through the portal, go back in, and then we can beat up that priest dude a second time.
I had not thought about you guys wanting to do that, but that absolutely is something you could do, because time travel.
Wait, so that cleric would still be there in the beginning?
If you got to the right time frame.
I do have a question. Can we meet ourselves?
Can I hold myself like when I was a baby?
It's possible. It all depends on the way the timelines line up.
Oh my
Does that
god!
have any repercussions? Like if we make a difference, right? If we, let's say, kill a major political figure, does that just change everything?
Oh, most undoubtedly, it will change everything.
So what you're saying is that we should try to avoid ruining our lives.
I mean, you might want to avoid ruining your own lives, but it could be quite fun to see what happens when you just mess around with everything else.
We could make sure that cleric was never born.
Cleric never born. No one to send us through portal. No magic items.
Time lines, Morian.
Oh.
We could make a timeline where he doesn't exist.
I like this.
Right?
I like this.
Right? Is that how it works? Am I getting it?
Everything that's straight is a circle.
Maybe we don't.
We'll figure it out when we figure it out, but I think there could be some danger going into this, potentially just not being born.
You ever read that short story about going back in time and stepping on a butterfly?
Butterfly effect.
I saw the Ashton Kutcher movie, Butterfly Effect.
It's not the same thing, but...
Oh, okay.
But the butterfly effect is definitely a thing that could... I fully intend so anything that you guys do in like an earlier timeline will affect the later timelines that you can travel to.
We go back and fix it. Like, be like, hey, don't do that.
You could definitely try, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So if we get like a really hard enemy, right? We're just gonna keep circling back until there's like 10 of ourselves, and then we're gonna fight it.
Run up, punch it, run away, reset the timeline, go back again. Just a circle of 6 seconds, 100 attacks.
You come through the 100th time, and you just see 100 previous versions of yourselves in a line. Run up, punch, run up, punch, run up, punch.
It becomes like a waiting thing. You get in the queue.
Yeah. It's like it's only doing 1 hit point of damage each time, but it's like there's an infinity of me, you idiot.
We just create armies of ourselves to just basically fight the Tarrasque.
There are things in place to disallow for complete breaking of the game mechanics like that. But I will allow for some small, fun, similar shenanigans should it happen organically. So.
Okay.
But I'm not going to allow you to break the time stream in that kind of a way, because then it's like, why are we even playing a game? Let's just narrate how the story happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you go back in time for the 100th time, and you break the world. Congratulations, we're done.
It's the same thing of like in the main campaign when we were talking about we could just go grind in the Feywild, and we're like, it's technically a thing we could do, but let's not do that because it's more fun to play out what's going to happen. So, yeah. So that's what you are at this portal now. You can set it to whichever of those numbers you prefer.
I've got one more question and I'm ready to go.
Yeah, of course.
You talked about getting sucked back in or getting forced back to the castle.
To the island, yes.
To the island. How long do we have before that happens?
Oh, it's not so much tied to time as it is tied to intent. So the island and the magic surrounding the island, if it senses that you aren't accomplishing things in the aid of fixing the lock, it might just pull you back, you know, kind of like a, hey, that's not what I wanted you to do.
Okay, I don't like being subservient to anything. But this seems really worth it, so let's go.
Number one, then.
Number one.
Number one.
Okay. She advises you to, once you set it to number one, you pull the key out and it leaves it powered on, because you will need that to unlock each lock. That is the key. So that little broken sword is the key. Don't lose the key.
Keep that in mind.
Okay. I also, there's one more thing I'd like to give you.
I've lost the key. Where's the key?
Who has the key?
It's like, okay, I won't. Throws the key through the portal. Oops. No.
What?
She pulls her satchel off of her shoulder and offers it up to you. Does anyone take it?
Is this gonna replace my other eye?
Oh no, of course not.
Anything? Any shenanigans happening with this if I take it?
Not. No shenanigans. It's my caretaker's satchel. It is tied to the vault. So, if the vault likes you, you might be able to use some of its contents occasionally.
Is there a downside to taking it?
I'd run up and grab.
You know what? I don't want to know. Let's find out.
Yeah, so I will straight up tell you, it basically just functions like a bag of holding. However, many magical items, rare, like unique items, or extremely dangerous items placed inside, the vault will claim those items into its inventory, and they will no longer be in the satchel. They will be in the vault, cataloged on a shelf. Large items or incredibly powerful, like artifact items, might be able to resist that. And this is something you might want to write down. I think. Oh, sorry. Let me. Yeah, because it's the weaker version because it's lended to someone else. This is one of the features for my special subclass, but I do have it built that you can give it to other people with a weaker form. Once per day, you can reach into the bag and attempt to pull something out of the vault that would help you in your current situation. The more frequently you use it, so if you use it every day, the less likely you are to receive more powerful items. Knowledge of a specific item you want to retrieve will increase your chances of getting it. So, and items you have retrieved before will most likely appear more frequently and easily. Any item retrieved this way will disappear shortly afterwards, unless what you are retrieving is the product of another item. So if there's like something that can create, I don't know, food, and you take some of that food will last as long as it normally would. But if you take the item itself, it'll disappear basically once the task you retrieve it for is completed. There's not a specific time frame to it, but yeah. Pretty much, this is me basically saying you can attempt to retrieve any magic item in the game, or even just any mundane item in the game, if you suddenly have a need for it, and I will have you make a roll for it, and I have a whole chart and everything.
So if Morian gets peckish, he can attempt to retrieve a snack.
Yeah, if he knows of like an item that can create a snack.
If he's thirsty, he can get some water from a flask of endless water.
He absolutely could. Yep. So there you go. So that's the caretaker satchel. You guys have that for now. But for all other intents and purposes, for just your general adventuring gear, money, things like that, it's just a bag of holding. So
A scroll of create food and water.
yeah, that conceivably could be in the vault.
Cool.
Yeah. So that thing, that caretaker satchel, that is the 3rd level ability that my Arcane Vault Warlock gets. Except for they can use it more times per day. But yeah. So
Neat.
I'm giving you guys tons of stuff. Partially because there is like I said, the chance that you might walk into a place that you are absolutely not prepared for. So having a couple of more powerful items and a way to maybe get something else that'll help you in the moment, I think is fair. So cool.
Walking through.
All right, you guys walk through the portal.
Let's go.
Oh boy.
This one, it's not like the portal to the vault. This is much more like the one you guys were thrown through at the very beginning. You're surrounded by just like green mist. It's kind of like going through like a wormhole, like Stargate style for a moment. And then you're all stepping out into bright sunlight. Like you've been in this dim light of this other world for so long that it hurts your eyes. Like stepping out of the Vault 111 at the beginning of Fallout 3. Of just the light just blinds you temporarily. And then the light, your eyes kind of adjust, and you are in an open plain in the middle of a large continent. You can't immediately place where you are. There are no distinguishing landmarks that any of you recognize at immediate cursory glance. And you look behind you, and just kind of floating a couple inches above the grass is just this square doorway of the portal. Completely uncontained within anything. It's literally just like a sheet of glass, of green glowing glass, basically, just standing there.
Oh.
If you ever played Saints Row 4, the way the portals into the computer world look, it's like that.
I feel bad for
I have
anybody.
not, but I think I know.
What was that, Chuck?
I feel bad for anybody randomly coming across that. That'll be fun.
Could be very interesting for some other people.
Wait, would that just take them into the night room?
I don't know. You don't really... I mean, you can make some rolls to try and see if you can figure anything out about how it functions.
Sure, what do I have to do? I just
Arcana rolls. You can perception or investigation to look at it more closely.
My perception's higher than that. Well, I don't have advantage anymore.
9.
9.
A 9.
You're not able to see anything that would necessarily tell you about its functionality, but you do notice that when you close your left eye, you can't see the portal.
Oh.
But when both eyes are open, or just your left eye is open, you can see it there clear as day.
I go like this, I go.
So I don't see it.
It's there, it's not. It's there, it's not.
Yeah, I guess Morian wouldn't see it.
Because I think
Morian's probably wondering what the heck I'm doing.
Morian can't see the portal with his eye patch on.
Why are you staring at the air?
I take Morian's eye patch off of him.
Oh.
I put Morian's eye patch back on him.
You basically do one of those and then snap it back onto his face.
Exactly.
Okay.
Are there any people around?
There are no people around. just an open plain. You see forest. In one direction, because you don't know what where north, south, east, or west is right now. So you do see a forest in one direction, and beyond that, the plain kind of just stretches off, a somewhat hilly plain, Midwest America kind of.
Does the sun? Where is the sun in the sky?
It's pretty high in the sky right now, close to midday, so it's hard for you to determine any direction off of that at the moment.
Well, I suppose the only way forward is forward.
Sure.
Yeah.
Go a direction. Morian, pick a direction.
I'm gonna stand with my back to the portal. I'm gonna pull my eye patch off. Stand with my back to the portal and point forward.
Okay.
Got it. We're going the other way. I start walking in the other direction.
Oh man,
I love it. Okay.
that's great.
So
I let out a hearty chuckle.
you start walking in the other direction. Morian's annoyed. Do you follow the others, Morian?
Yeah, I mean, I want stuff.
So you start heading off in this direction. Everyone roll perception checks for me.
Hey!
Okay.
What do I get with a 21?
Darius and Morian don't notice more beyond just kind of like continuing to see the landscape. Talos. It's kind of quiet. You don't hear a lot of animals. You don't see any birds flying in the sky.
All life is dead. This is the
but
apocalypse.
There's plant life, so that's not entirely true.
Are we waking up to ash and dust?
Wipe my brow and I sweat my rest.
Yeah, this is it.
So yeah, you definitely don't notice any of the telltale signs of your typical like birds and rodents and things like that you would expect to see in a wild plain like this.
Is it a completely featureless plain, like no savanna trees or any type of?
There's the occasional tree, and then there is a forest off because what direction you're going now. There's a forest off to your right, and as you continue going forward, you kind of see it spreading out more across your line of vision. So you're kind of like approaching a part where it spreads out more.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of be listening out for like signs of animal life as we press on.
Okay. You guys continue traveling for quite a while, a couple hours now. As the sun comes down, I'm not gonna make you guys roll for this. You're able to figure out based on the sun's location that you are traveling roughly south. So long as the sun is in the same orientation as you are familiar with, but it's the same world, only at a different time, so you have to assume that it would be relatively the same. So
I want to see if I can see any signs of anybody passing through here recently, any wildlife passing through.
Roll a survival check.
A 12. It's with advantage if it's a fae, fiend, or undead, I think.
Yeah. You do not see sign of anything.
Still no sounds of life.
You can It's not completely silent. Obviously, there's like wind and some of that kind of stuff, but you have not heard any distinct animal sounds or anything like that. And you have yet to see anything.
Told you we should have gone north.
I don't think that really would have made much of a difference, but
We don't really even know where we're going.
that is true. So the best way forward is just going where we don't know. I'm sure eventually we'll hit something.
Oh, I totally forgot. Tiny bit of backtrack. I guess we don't have to backtrack. Who walked through the portal first? Darius?
Was it me?
I don't
know that we specified.
We didn't specify.
Decide who walked through first.
Fine, I went through first.
All right, roll me a D3. Okay. You don't have to do this right now. You all went up a level traveling through the time portal.
Oh.
Okay.
Well,
I can attack twice now.
Oh no.
I think I can too.
You can attack 3 times.
I don't know if you're watching the stream right now.
3 attacks per turn.
Because I'm gonna make it so you can attack with my commander strike.
I can attack, and then bonus action attack, hybrid form. And then if you do something else, we also attack again.
Oh. I put in the Black Label chat earlier asking people what kind of stuff they want you to encounter. And Forsworn just said a false Hydra.
Oh.
I'll have to see about maybe finding a location I can implement that for you to maybe stumble across. Okay. So, yes, so there's that. So you had leveled up going through the time portal. Forgot about.
Oh, wow.
What, you're looking at what you get at the next level?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. $1 million. Okay. You continue to travel south. And let me take a look at your passive perceptions.
Oop, I didn't mean to roll that.
You're fine.
I
think
11.
Morian's. Yeah, no one has a super high passive perception.
Not on this character.
Not on this character. So you continue traveling south, and the forest that's kind of mostly to your right starts to encroach in front of you, and you see now that you are approaching this forest. And as you're getting closer to it, you are seeing this isn't like a simple, like, wide open. The forest is a very like tall, twisted jungle tree forest. It's a very sort of jungle, rainforesty type of appearance, which none of you really recall there being a large jungle in anywhere that you remember.
So if I'm insinuating correctly here, we're either very far in the future, where things have had the chance to overgrow or something. Although I guess I wouldn't know exactly because I don't remember anything. Is there? I will ask then. Is there a jungle usually in this world? I don't remember much of anything.
Can I roll like a history check or something?
You don't even need to. None of you remember there being a large, distinct jungle. At least not on any of the main land masses.
Well, I relay that. You know what? I don't remember there being any, so...
So if...
Could I roll a history check to see if I know of past?
Sure, roll a check.
Can I give him advantage because I'm proficient in history?
Yeah. You can either roll a separate one yourself as well if you want to, or you have an advantage.
Yeah, I'll let him.
Okay. Morian, there is not. There are plenty of large forests. None of them are really described as a jungle in any written history. The closest you could think of would be there's swamplands that could maybe be kind of seen as sort of jungly, but it's not quite the same.
I relayed that information.
So with that, we know that either we're so far back that we don't have any record of this existing, potentially since none of us have seen any sign of life before most creatures began to exist, or we're so far in the future that things have had time to overgrow, a lot of species have died out, and other effects may happen. I think that's generally what we're looking at here.
Come to think of it, I've not heard any animals. So.
And I didn't see any tracks.
Upon Talos saying that, just because it creates a fun cinematic moment, you hear a far distant echoing roar. And when you hear it, you see off in the distance some winged creatures of some sort, like a flock of them, fly up and scatter, and then kind of fly away southwest.
That sounded very big. I don't think we want to get into a fight with that. My suggestion is we either move in a direction away from that, or we try to very stealthily navigate around it. Side note, we did just also see birds, so we should watch out, see if there are creatures in the trees. That is something I did not.
Chuck's ruminating.
We could go the other way.
No, I don't like that I don't like that direction. Let's just go to the where we're going south. Let's go to the east.
I'm gonna stop
So away from the forest. Okay. So you turn east and continue moving. Okay. You are continuing to travel. It's plains. The trees are now kind of getting further and further behind you. You come across a sort of little stream, and in kind of approaching, and it's not very deep, but it's very clear water in this stream. It kind of cuts through the middle of this plains. Can easily ford through it, or probably even jump across it. You do see some fish in the stream, so you do know there are fish.
I want to be looking out on the horizon. Is there any sign of a mountain range anywhere in the very far distance?
Roll me a perception check.
Volcano, perhaps. Never mind. 4.
Yeah, not that you're able to see, and definitely not in the direction you're going. Everything seems to kind of be opening up in the direction you're going, much more flat and what have you.
And I attempt to spear a fish.
Yeah. Roll an attack roll. DC 6, because you know how to use a spear well. Yeah, you spear a fish. 100%.
20.
Yep. You got a fish.
Bit of a show off, but
Does it look like
maybe
normal
save dinner
fish?
for later.
Roll a nature or survival check to see if you can identify it.
Because I'm so good at either of those. Yep, I got it.
It does. Morian, it does not look like any fish you are familiar with. Talos, having been a little bit more in kind of the wilderness and stuff, it obviously has all of your expected fish-like characteristics, but it seems to have its fin. It has more fins instead of just like two main kind of fins. It has two sets, one forward and one further back.
Oh. I would like to cook it.
But otherwise, yeah. I mean, you're gonna stop and try and set up a little.
I mean, like, it's probably been a while since we've eaten, so. Well, we had the long rest and set out. But...
Yeah. So, do you? I think I gave you guys some of your basic. You found like a survival pack or like an adventures pack or something at one point, I think.
Adventuring gear, yeah.
So you definitely have flint and tinder. There aren't a lot of sticks and stuff like that around, but there's enough small bushes that after walking around a little bit, you're able to get a small little pile of kindling and whatnot, and get a small fire going.
Cool. I cooked the fish.
You cook the fish. Are you sharing it with everybody? It is a rather large fish. I will specify that.
Certainly not with Darius. He doesn't eat.
True.
I'm fine. I'm not hungry.
Morian?
Morian, you gonna have some fish?
Am I getting offered some fish?
I mean, I know it's bland as hell, and he's not gonna like it, so of course I'm offering him fish.
Oh. I hate having to keep saying this, but thank you.
Okay. Yeah, you guys eat some cooked but unseasoned fish.
Oh, God.
I can think of few things in this world that would be worse to eat than that.
After that stew of whatever I had previous, this is actually fine.
So, yeah, with full bellies now, you are good to go. Roll perception checks for me.
9.
19!
My computer is very slow.
Well, okay, Darius and Morian, you notice
Hey, 19.
With the absence of anything else around, the smoke from your little campfire is probably visible for a very, very long way. And you notice a flock of creatures flying towards you from the direction of the forest. You don't know if it's the same flock that you saw scatter previously, but there are some winged creatures flying towards you.
Might be best to get a move on.
Say that again?
It might be best to get a move on. We need to go. There's creatures coming this way. You guys can stay if you want. I'm leaving. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna try to like maneuver away from it and like keep low to the ground. Maybe try to blend in a little bit.
Okay.
much as possible.
All right. What's everyone else doing?
Is anyone going to tell me about the birds?
I
Or you already did? Yeah. No, I'll be like, dang it, just follow him.
Okay. Morian?
Yes, I'm going to follow.
Okay. You continue off in the same direction, still east,
yeah.
roughly?
Is that out across the open plain?
Yes.
I'll try to cut towards the forest.
So the forest is back the way you came, and that's the direction these flying creatures are coming from.
Yeah, then I guess we have to keep out in the open.
Okay.
That's not safe, you guys.
Hey, there's the, can we lure them to the portal?
You'd have to kind of go back northwest to get back to where the portal was. But you definitely could try and lure them to it.
Or at least see how far they want to go from the forest, so...
I mean,
Which
yeah,
direct-
I can cause something to try and get them to come closer.
Oh, I don't want them to come closer. I'm just thinking if they follow us.
Well, not closer, but to have a signal to go towards.
Make them go somewhere else.
I can't do that.
As you guys are having this discussion,
Oh no.
They are continuing to fly in your direction.
Alright, we're moving.
Yeah, I'm just moving.
Okay. You're moving east. You are heading out over the plains, the hills. As you keep looking back, this flock of creatures is getting closer and closer, and you're quite able to determine that they are much larger than your average bird.
How many are there?
Roll a perception check.
I'm also going to see.
Hey, Lamau.
Wow, yeah, you are able to precisely count 10 of them in this flock.
Not happy. Not a fan.
Okay.
How far away are we from the portal?
You don't know exactly, because you kind of switched directions and stuff, but you've spent a few hours kind of walking around now, plus stopping to eat. So you gotta think at least a good hour's normal walk away from it. Given that you'd be at sort of like a angle to get back to it, so you wouldn't have to fully retrace the steps exactly, but
It's still probably not fast enough to outrun these things, though.
well, especially since you'd be kind of going partly back in the same direction they're coming from a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because you went south and then east, so it is northwest from your position, and they are coming from the west.
Are there any bushes or anything nearby?
There are small bushes. You could definitely try and hide in one. There's not one large enough for all three of you.
I don't care. I'm jumping in. I'm doing a Lord of the Rings. I'm jumping into a bush.
Okay.
Trying to hide.
Okay. You jump into a bush. What's everyone else doing?
Are there additional bushes?
There are a few of them scattered around. They're just not all right next to each other, so you're going to be somewhat separated if you do. And I will say there are occasional outcroppings of rock, but not many. It's not like a mountainous area, so there's definitely not one immediately nearby. But you have passed a few.
I'm gonna try to. Are they still? Is the old fire still between us and the birds?
Yes. And you didn't put it out, so the smoke's still.
Okay, well, I'm gonna crouch behind a bush and scope out the birds to see if they're just gonna go towards the fire.
Okay.
Give me 1 second here. How far
But
away?
I do.
What?
I do have a javelin at the ready.
How far away would you say they are?
A couple miles still, because you're not able to really identify them yet.
Okay. I'm going to find a bush and crouch down. And if
Okay.
they start to get closer, I'll act.
All right. So you guys all kind of stop and hunker down and watch them. They reach the area where you can see the smoke from your campfire, and they all kind of like circle it, and a couple of them like dart down near it a little bit, seemingly like investigating it or looking for something. And
I definitely ditched my fish at the campsite.
yeah, so you can assume that maybe one of them's diving down and grabbing that. Definitely, it seemed to be kind of swooping down a bunch, and after a little short period of time of that, they start flying in your direction again.
I'm just gonna keep laying low and try to like disappear as much as possible.
Okay, everyone, make a stealth check.
Oh, I have disadvantage because of my armor.
I will not have you have disadvantage in this instance because the noise does not make a factor. This is how well you can hide yourself in the bushes.
20
Okay.
for me.
That's a 19 for me.
Oh, okay.
15.
Okay. You hide in the bushes, and this flock of creatures gets closer and closer and closer, and flies overhead and continues flying. And as they fly overhead, anyone that wants to try and identify them can give me a nature or history check.
Nope.
History check.
If I had advantage, it would be Nat, but I do
Maybe
not.
not in this instance.
Yep. You got a whopping 30.
Morian, you've seen pictures in a book. These are pteranodons.
Oh.
And they fly overhead and keep flying east. They did not spot you.
Well, I'm going to wait till I think they're well out of earshot. And say, well, that answers the question of when we are.
Do you know what those things are?
Yeah, a reptilian-like bird creatures called pteranodons.
And that puts us in a specific time frame?
Really, really, really beginning.
I have an idea. We can go back to the portal and maybe we test out if we can go back through, we can test out each of them and see if we can try to gauge what time period each is. Because if this was 1 and it's the earliest, then perhaps the highest number is the latest, and we can make our way through history from there.
Are we gonna have to make our whole way back to the castle if we go through the portal?
You don't know.
No, I'm asking this in character. I'm speculating.
It's possible.
If I request something, will you actually listen to it?
Depends on what it is. If it's stupid, probably not.
Love the dynamic of this.
Dead werewolf is very mean. Just going to point that out.
I think he's hilarious.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. Yeah, apocalypse, dogs, cats working together. It's so much fun.
This isn't the apocalypse, though. This is the earliest. The apocalypse would imply that it would probably be after civilization.
Yeah. What Can
I'm just
we
saying your kind of metaphor doesn't really make sense there. Anyways, go ahead.
Can we not go through 5 if one of the keys is supposed to be the void lock? Can we go to 4 before we go to 5?
Why not just go 2 and then 3?
What? Because then we can confirm it with
I
one right
do
away.
kind of agree. If
4
we
is
go
in the middle.
earliest and then we go latest, the 5, if the void is correct, that could just end us in black nothingness, which wouldn't be preferable. But if we can go to 4 and confirm that it is way later history, then you may have a point.
Then we can
I
go.
don't know if that's going to tell us anything, because they could be in a random order.
There's a solid point there too. Maybe we try 4, and then we go backwards 1.
That's
Just
what
so we
I
get
was
the
saying.
biggest difference. And then we go 1, 4, 3, 2.
Sure.
And then somebody peeks their head through 5 while somebody else holds onto their feet.
I don't know if it works that way.
I don't works that way. Let's go back to the portal and see if we can figure this out.
Alright. Portal time.
I'm gonna start making the way back to where I'm pretty sure the portal
Okay, you're
is.
gonna head back towards the portal.
Morian, take the eye patch off so you can help us spot it.
Yeah. There's nobody probably around that's, needing to keep our appearances down. We'll probably stand out if we see anybody, so...
I would assume anybody's primitive here, so... Probably.
That would be my understanding.
So a bunch of Morians running around. Okay.
Wow. Really?
Fair enough.
I'm destined to conquer the worlds together, and you have to treat me like this.
We're only doing it because he thinks so highly of himself.
Well, everybody does every group has that, the one person.
Yes.
Anyways.
Just remember that pride goeth before the fall.
I think I've already fallen. That is kind of my whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. You travel back roughly in the direction you think to find the portal. Everyone make a survival check to see how good you are at
I'm
finding
supposed to
your
be
way.
good at these. I'm not. That was a really low roll.
What's a 20 get
Yeah,
me?
Talos, you're doing really good. Now, obviously, you're not backtracking the exact steps, but you're like locked in the rough direction you need to go based on what you've traveled so far. You end up encountering the stream again further north of where you had crossed it previously, and obviously there's probably some curving and whatnot, so it's not like a perfectly straight line or anything, but you do cross the stream again, and you this okay. You are heading back in the direction of where you think the portal is. You pass a large outcropping of rock. This is one that you definitely didn't pass before. And you hear a snort.
I will look around for the source.
You all turn, and on the other side of the rock that you didn't see from where you were first passing, you see, crouched over the carcass of another creature, a Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Is it already eating?
It was eating. It snorted as you walked past. you have all kind of frozen in place, and you're staring at it, and it's staring back at you.
Nobody move. Its vision is based on movement.
If we give it a wide berth, maybe it will leave us alone. Hopefully, maybe.
It roars in your face. Everyone roll for initiative.
Seriously?
Yes, what
Okay.
vision is based on movement is a fabrication of the Jurassic Park movies and is not real.
No, I knew that. Oh, great.
6.
Okay, let me find my scrap of paper here. I forgot to grab my notebook.
Well, it's been a fun campaign, guys.
Yep.
Yep.
Like, stupid T-Rex.
Hey, Chuck threw 3 T-Rexes at us in the main campaign.
I
It's
did.
true, but we were higher level.
And we got to hide from them.
Yeah, well, I had it roll stealth because it wasn't moving, it was just sitting there eating. And it rolled an 18. And all of your passive perceptions are significantly lower than that. So you didn't see it.
I mean, maybe it's not hungry anymore.
It might not be hungry, but it's definitely mad at there being something here in front of it. Okay.
Well, I am faster than you guys, so,
I'm gonna try something to hopefully make myself faster. We'll see.
I grab my notebook when I lose my pencil.
Guess they're gonna roll up a new character.
I already have a backup. I
Alright,
already know
so
what I'm
we've
doing.
got Talos. Let me roll its initiative here.
I spike Morian through the foot and I leave. I don't do that.
See.
Maybe Talos, then Darius, then the T-Rex, and then Morian.
Of course.
I mean, you guys managed to hide and not have to do the Pteranodon encounter. So, kind of just varied which one you went for, but I did give you clues that there was a T-Rex stalking around in that other area. So,
Oh, that's the thing that roared.
that's the thing that roared, yep. Talos, you get to go first. It has roared at you, and it is kind of standing there over top of this carcass of probably like a Triceratops or something.
I'm going to have a javelin in hand, but I'm going to start backing up a little bit.
Okay? You just do like your full movement back, or just a few steps?
I'm walking backwards
Yes.
my movement.
Yep, okay. Yeah. And is that all you're doing?
I mean, I don't necessarily want to provoke an attack from it if I don't have to. It's really big, and I mean, like,
No, that's fine.
as much as I like to rib these guys, I'm not, like, gonna be super combative. I'll let Morian insult it.
Alright, Darius.
Oh wait, I will.
It can't really be insulted, it only has a 2 intelligence. But Darius, it's your turn. You guys are both faster than it.
I am trying to think about exactly what to do. I think I am going to dash in the direction that we were heading. So trying to put as much distance. I guess like giving it a little bit of wide berth, like not directly in the line we were heading, but a little bit further away from it in that kind of direction. So if we were heading this way, I'm heading like this way.
Okay.
And I'll use my action to dash. That's 60 feet.
Okay.
And then bonus action, just in case, I will light up a scimitar.
Bonus action, ha.
My bonus action different.
Okay.
It's still just a 1.
It is now the T-Rex's turn.
No, it's not. It's a 1d6 now. Oof.
All right. So the T-Rex, Darius went running and lit up a bright glowy thing. So it hones in on that and it chases after you. However, it only has 50 feet of movement.
That's good.
So it's not able to reach you this turn unless it dashes as well. So it's going to dash and get up alongside of you, but it's not able to attack you in that moment. So Morian, you were just stood there frozen. Your friend took off running, and the T-Rex chased after him. You might be able to see things that aren't moving, but the things that are moving are the things that attract its attention much more heavily. So.
Okay.
Did we roll our 5th level hit points for this fight?
Yeah, if you didn't apply any of that stuff, you can have your 5th level of hit points.
I already rolled mine.
I just was saying you don't have to bother if grabbing any spells or things like that if you didn't want to do any of that extra stuff. But you technically have any of your 5th level features that you want to be able to use, like second attack, things like that.
Oh, thank goodness. I'm gonna need this.
We're gonna need this. It's like 50 feet away from 60 feet away from
That's true. I'm actually pretty well off right now. So I'm going to start moving in the opposite direction. Not the opposite direction, but like kind of angled away.
So you guys are like fanning out like this, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
So Darius goes this way, T-Rex chases him, Morian, you come this way, kind of trying to flank it, essentially.
Yep.
Okay, are you also dashing? Or are you just moving 30 feet?
I am going to do my full movement, I think. Hold on 1 second, let me double check. Is this an action or a bonus action? Action. So I'm going to cast False Life on myself as well.
Okay.
So I'm going to move 30 feet and then cast False Life.
Gotcha.
And gain 5 temporary hit points.
Woo! Okay, cycles back around Talos.
I guess I will move my 35 feet towards the T-Rex.
Okay.
And I will throw a javelin at it.
All right, make your attack.
I think the javelin's just the same as my spear.
You should be able to use strength if you're a strength-based character to throw a javelin. So
yeah,
it would all be the same.
I just don't have it built in.
Yeah, that's fine. Uh, 24 will definitely hit. I do know the javelin's, I think, a little bit less damage.
Oh yeah, it would be a d6. Let me just roll a d6 plus my strength. There we go. I'm gonna have to make a separate javelin one because now with my feet, my spear is actually better.
You have a +6 from your strength?
Never mind. Isn't the proficiency bonus?
Proficiency doesn't affect damage, it's only to hit.
Oh, okay, well then take 2 off of that.
Okay, so it's +4. Alright, so it's...
Somehow you know what it is? Yeah, for spear it would be because I've got the dueling. But not for javelin.
Well, I mean, you might be proficient in the weapon. But, oh no, you're just talking about the
just the spear.
The fighting style. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because that doesn't affect